Hi there, I'm Molly. I work in Cornerstone Resources and I'm the HR administrator. Today I will be giving you an introduction to our Breathe HR system. Now, Breathe HR is a truly intuitive system which allows you to streamline your admin and HR tasks, which thereby empowers you to focus on what really matters, your people and your business. Now, without further ado, I will share my screen and what you will see is a demo account. It's called Stockport Spa. None of the information on there is real. There is no personal information of any other client. It is all a demo account. So first of all, when you enter Breathe, you will enter what's called your dashboard. Now this gives you your company highlights, which gives you an overview of the whole business. So for example, you will have so in this demo account, we have 43 people on a whole. You have the amount of people on holiday. If anyone's on other leave, which is things like paternity or maternity, you've got anyone off sick, anyone working from home, and any birthdays. We've also got your to-do list. Now, this is again gives you an overview of things that you might want to add to your accounts just to make them more data rich. So you've got things such as missing data. Now that could be anything from birthdays or personal email addresses. It's not necessary. The only thing that's really necessary for a Breathe account is an email and obviously first name, last name, but it's a very small amount of detail that we actually need to create the account. It's to get the full worth of Breathe, you may want to add more, and this will remind you of what's missing. You can view that here and it'll give you a detailed list of what you might want to add. You've also got your people awaiting the welcome email. Now that is something that we do when we set up your account. We send the email out to all employees. They will get a temporary password, which means they are able to log in. Now it is worth noting that when you receive this password, you must type the password. You cannot copy and paste, it won't work. And then you've also got your yet to action welcome email. Now that just allows you to see any employees that have received the welcome email but haven't used it to log in yet. It allows you to simplify the amount of people rather than having to speak as a whole to see who hasn't accessed it. You can see exactly who hasn't and go to them directly. Next, we will go to our community page. This is where there is a system called Kudos. It's a way to raise team morale and empower your colleagues. If they've done something right, let them know and send a kudos. Next, we'll go into my profile. Now, as you'll see, this will show my profile personally. It will show yours when you go log on to this. However, all profiles on the system are the same. Now, when we look at access on a whole, no employees will be able to see each other's profiles. They can only see their own. Line managers can only see their teams, and HR users can see everybody. So it's worth noting that personal information will not be seen by anyone other than your line manager or a HR user. So when you go into your profile, you have a summary page which goes over anything like your name, your email, work extension, things like that. You can add in your social networks there if you prefer to, like your LinkedIn, and also your line manager and holiday approver. I will go into how to set that up later in this video. Next, we will go to your job. This is where it gets a little bit more in detail about what you do. So you've got your job title, your location, whether you're full-time or part-time, your join date and your length of service. You've also got your payment currency, your probation date. It's basically just a more in-depth way of looking at your role rather than the person. Then we've got your personal information. This is where you'll look at gender, date of birth, marital status, national insurance, anything like that. Again, it is worth noting the only people that can see this is your line managers and yourself and HR users. So you don't have to worry about anyone else in the organisation seeing this. Then we will go into, I'll show you leave. Now, leave is very easy to use and it's really great to keep track of. So all you do, you get your allowance here, which is based on the holiday allowance set up for how many hours you work. And you can just add plus. And for example, I want to take tomorrow off. So the 20th of February. I want to take a full day. I create the leave request. And that is that done. So we'll go back to leave and it's right there. Now, there is the working time lost and the allowance used. That is just comparable to someone if they're on flexible working, anything like that. For the sake of this demo, I am on full time, so it is 1 day lost. That will then, once approved, so that's in my requested. Once approved, it will go to my booked. And once I've taken it, it will go to my taken. Now, you may also have someone who does extra time working. Maybe they've done an extra hour one day, so they want it owed back. All you would do is add your toil. So for example, if I did an extra hour, you add your hour, and I earned that yesterday. I stayed late yesterday. The reason earned, stayed late. All you do is log your toil. And again, that goes to your adjustment there. So it goes to requested, your line manager or HR manager will approve it, and it will just go onto there, giving me an extra hour. Oh, sorry, I had an extra day there. I stayed very late. Then you will go to your sickness. Now, this is where you are allowed to see trends of a person. So, for example, if they're sick every December, they might have a lower immune system, and it might be worth putting things in place come December to avoid that happening again. Your sickness is added in the same way that leave is. You put your start date, you put your end date, and you put your sickness type. So it could be stress, it could be non-work related injury, or just simply a cough. All you do is pop that in. You can put any additional details if you want to, and you'd add your sickness. Again, that would go there. It will give you your total sickness in the last 12 months, your number of absences in the last 12 months. So for example, if you were off for 5 days, it would count as one absence. If you are off for 2, then in, and then 3, it'll count as 2 absences. Then we will go to performance. Now, this is where you're able to do your one-to-ones, your appraisals, anything like that. So in your one-to-ones, all you do is you press plus, you put the date and time of the meeting, whether it's annual, formal, half a year, it could be informal, just a quick chat, catch up, anything like that, and you would put the reviewer. You can also make it reoccurring, so you don't have to pop that again, and you put the employee summary. So basically just what they've said in that meeting. Is anything cause for concern that you think you should write up? Just a general overview of what happened in that meeting, and you'd mark it as complete. Now, what you can also do is, so for example, I will add this now. Once you're in that one-to-one, you can also add documents. So if you have your own appraisal forms, if you have your own one-to-one forms, you can pop them in here. All you do is you click here, or you can drag and drop a file, and you can put the file name, make it visible to the person so they can see, or if it's personal to the manager doing it, he doesn't want the employee to necessarily see it, you can make it invisible, but as it's a one-to-one, I'd recommend making it visible. And then you'd simply add the document there. So then we can also look at documents. Now, documents is a way for you to store all the employees' documents in one place. So you can add things such as your contracts of employment, any file notes that you want to put on there, payroll forms, new starter forms, anything like that. You wouldn't put any ID documents, so such as right to work, passports, driving license, you would not put that on there. This would simply be for documents pertaining to the employee regarding work, pretty much. You've also got access to company documents. Now, these documents are things that as a manager, you would upload to the company documents, which all employees can then see. However, the My Documents, again, is where you'd get your contract. It's where you'd get your promotion letters, your probation letters, anything like that. You'd put it on the system there. In regards to ID documents, which, as I said before, the passports, things like that, you would simply go to ID documents. You press plus, you can choose your type, whether it's driving license, passport, proof of address, anything like that. You pop in the reference number, on what date you saw that, and then you again add the file here. If it is a work permit, you can put expires on, and then you can put a remind me email for when it expires. So for example, 2 months before, you can set it so that you get an email to say, this person's right to work is due to expire in 2 months, which means you can then go to them and look at extending that, or if it will expire with due time. Okay. So you can also go into your medical facts. Again, as I said before, this is personal and it's private to you and your line manager and your HR users. This is where you can put anything from simple hay fever to allergies, anything like that. So what you would do is your severity, whether it's mild or severe, the facts, so you could put hay fever and any symptoms, sore throat, watery eyes, and if any action is needed. So for example, if you have an allergy, if you come into contact with, for example, strawberries, what action do we need to do? Do you have an EpiPen? Do you need to call the ambulance? It allows for a quick, so rather than going into the paper file to try and find what facts you need and to try and find how to proceed, it is all on here so you can act quickly if anything does happen in an emergency. We've also got your working pattern and holiday allowance. Now, this is where, again, you would change this depending on your business. Each business is different. You could do 8-hour rolling shifts, you could do 48-hour weeks, part-time, anything. Any working pattern can go, and we can make that work for you. So, for example, I'm on the standard working week, and I'm also on the standard leave entitlement. However, say I do the weekend shift, which is 20 hours rather than 40. I can just pop that in there, update it, and my leave will automatically go down because of it. So for example, I have 11 days now, whereas previously I had 20. It's very easy to do, and you can also schedule these changes. So for example, if you have an employee who is dropping their hours in 2 weeks' time, you can set that up so it happens on that day. Then you will also go into your permissions. Now, as I said before, this is where you would do your line manager and your holiday approver. So if you go into here, your line manager, I'll put Hayes Clay, and my holiday approver can technically be anyone, but generally it's your line manager. You'd also put if you wanted to, so for example, if I wanted to make Hayes a line manager, all I would do is click line manager, yes. That's all that needs to happen. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so then what you can also do is you've got reports. Now, reports are a really easy way of collating data. It can be anything from birthdays to sickness trends. As I said before, you can see when people are mostly off. You've got length of service or medical facts, anything like that. So for example, if I wanted to go on leave overview, it shows you who has taken leave and why. For example, we've got maternity, medical appointment, and holiday. Okay, so that's all I'm going to go through today. I will do more videos like this on things such as the rota and on more detail, but that is a general overview of Breathe. I do hope this allows you to go through Breathe, have a look through it with my help, and of course we are still here to answer any questions, help you walk through it. We can have calls if you need, but this video should allow you to explore more in depth and see if this is a good fit for you. So thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.